Oh my God, I left this water bottle full over here on my desk while stepping out of my room. And when I returned, I saw the bottle is empty, but there is no sign of spillage. And I asked my siblings too, my children as well. They all say they didn't drink it. So, what shall I conclude? I logically presume that someone must have drunk it when I was away, even though I didn't directly see, right? That's the power of Arthapatti Pramana. Why does this work? Because it creates curiosity, it's relatable to the viewers of all ages, and it clearly demonstrates logical presumptions. Hello, everybody. This is Meenakshi Narula, and in today's video, we are going to talk about, yes, you guessed it right, Arthapatti Pramana. We will be talking about how this works, how we can use this in our classroom too. So far, we have discussed about 5 Pramanas, and today we are going to discuss about the last Pramana, the sixth one, which is called Arthapati. Arthapati comes from two Sanskrit words, Arth and Apati. Arth means the fact, the meaning, the necessity. And next is Apati means postulation or assumption. Arthapati is knowledge gained by presuming a fact that logically explains an observed phenomena. Right? If I see my friend skipping lunch every day, but they are still healthy and energetic, I logically conclude that they must be eating at some other time, perhaps breakfast or dinner. So, this assumption made to explain an observed fact is Arthapati Pramana. Arthapati helps us fill in missing information when direct evidence is unavailable, but necessary to explain the situation logically. Now let's talk about the types of Arthapati. The first one is Drishtarthapati. Drisht means related to Drishti, when we observe something, when we see something. Knowledge is derived from observing something directly and making a logical assumption. See a man gaining weight despite claiming he fasts all day. You logically assume that he must be eating at night. So a direct observation leads to a reasonable presumption. This is Drishtarthpati. Let's talk about the second type, which is Shrut Arthpati. Shrut Arthpati related to verbal testimony, what we hear, what we shravan. So knowledge is derived from verbal statements that contradict reality unless an assumption is made. For example, a teacher says, you are always inside your home during the day, but you also know that particular person is gone out today. So you logically conclude that he must have gone out before the sunrise or maybe after the sunset. Means there is some contradiction between the two statements, and then you logically form hypothesis or you presume. So a statement contradicts reality, so a presumption is made to resolve it. What are you thinking about? What's the difference between Arthpati and Anuman? Do they look similar to you? Well, there is a basic difference. If we talk about Anuman, drawing conclusions based on an observed effect. अगर आपने कुछ देखा है उसके बेसिस पर आप कंक्लूजन करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपने रोड साइड पर देखा है कि गीली है पूरी रोड, तो आप एज्यूम करते हो कि यहाँ पर बारिश हुई होगी कुछ देर पहले, जबकि उस टाइम पर बारिश हो सकता है ना हो रही. आपने देखा है कि मिट्टी पर गीली मिट्टी है, उसके ऊपर पैरों के निशान है, एनिमल के होंगे या ह्यूमन बीइंग के होंगे, आप पैरों के निशान जो है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली अज्यूम कर सकते हो कि यहाँ से अभी अभी कौन गया है. धुआं देखकर अज्यूम कर सकते हैं, राइट, कि वहां पर कहीं ना कहीं आग लगी होगी. तो वहां पर एक जो है एक यूनिवर्सल कनेक्शन होता है उन दो स्टेटमेंट्स के बीच. बट जब अर्थपति की बात करते हैं, वी ड्रॉ कंक्लूजन्स बेस्ड ऑन द एब्सेंस ऑफ एन एक्सप्लेनेशन फॉर एन ऑब्जर्व्ड फैक्ट. जो आपने देखा है उसकी एक्सप्लेनेशन में आपको कुछ ना कुछ चीजें की कमी पेशी नजर आती है और उसके बेसिस पर आप प्रिज्यूम करते हो, राइट. आपने किसी को देखा कि वेट गेन किया जा रहा है जबकि फास्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड यू प्रिज्यूम दैट दे मस्ट बी ईटिंग एट नाइट. सो दिस इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन अनुमान एंड अर्थपति. अनुमान बेसिस पे होता है कॉज एंड इफेक्ट के, और अर्थपति इज बेस्ड ऑन नेसेसरी एजम्पशन. अ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन नीड्स रेजोल्यूशन. चलिए एक और मिसाल लेते हैं. मैंने अपना फ्रिज ओपन किया, देखा कि वो भरा हुआ था ग्रोसरीज के साथ, all green groceries, fresh vegetables and fruits. And I asked my mother-in-law कि पापा मार्केट गए थे क्या सामान लेने? तो मम्मा ने कहा नहीं, उनकी तो तबीयत खराब है, he has been taking rest. अब क्योंकि पापा ही जाते हैं सब्जियां लेने के लिए और पापा की तबीयत खराब है बट फ्रिज भरा हुआ है सब्जियों के साथ, तो वो डू आई एज्यूम, हो सकता है ग्रीन ग्रोसर सोसाइटी में आया हो, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट इनकम्प्लीट इंफॉर्मेशन के बाद आई विल presume something and I will fill in the gaps logically. This is another example of Arthapatti. Let's talk about some of the limitations of Arthapatti Pramana. First of all, risk of false assumptions. हो सकता है assumption incorrect हो, तो knowledge जो हम derive करेंगे वो भी wrong होगा. If I assume like my friend is eating at night without evidence, my assumption could be mistaken. मैंने फ्रिज में सब्जियां देखकर ये अनुमान लगाया, रादर आई वुड से कि मैंने ये प्रेज्यूम किया कि वो ग्रीन ग्रोसर सोसाइटी में आया होगा. ये भी हो सकता है कि हमारे घर में कोई गेस्ट आया हो, वो सब्जी लेकर आया हो. ये भी हो सकता है माई स्पाउस वेंट टू द मार्केट एंड हैज बॉट द वेजिटेबल्स. Depends on logical thinking. Arthapati works only when there is genuine contradiction to resolve. If there is no contradiction, then other pramana like perception, inference, that is anuman, should be used instead. Arthapati is not universally accepted. Some schools of philosophy consider Arthapati a subset of inference, not an independent pramana. For example, हम गीली हुई सड़क को देखकर कहीं पडल्स ना हो ये भी सोच सकते हैं, हो सकता है रात को बारिश हुई हो, तो ये हम अनुमान में भी कंसिडर कर सकते हैं और कहीं पर इसे लॉजिकली इसमें प्रिजम्पशन में भी कंसिडर किया जा सकता है. तो कोई इसे अर्थपति को उसका ही सबसेट मानते हैं. तो की टेक अवे क्या है हमारी? अर्थपति मस्ट बी यूज कॉशियसली. नॉट एवरी मिसिंग एक्सप्लेनेशन रिक्वायर्स अ प्रिजम्पशन. So, my dear educators, let's conclude. To sum up, Arthapatti Pramana is a crucial way of acquiring knowledge by making necessary presumptions based on available facts. It plays an important role in daily life, science, philosophy, and logic. However, we must always validate our assumptions before treating them as facts. If you found this session insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Mentoring the Mentors videos. Stay curious, keep learning, and see you in the next session. Till then, bye-bye.